Hey, it's Chronologically Gaming, the only channel that's perpetually retro because we're playing every video game in order of release, streaming live from November 1982. We were last on the Apple II, checking out Old Ironsides. Let's see what our next game is. Coming up next is the Acorn Atom, the micro from the United Kingdom that's still going. And this is Painter, just Painter. Here's the box for Painter. This one's by A&F Software, the sixth game we've seen by this company. Whoa, the bullseye on the front, we've seen that before by A&F Software. One of the best games that they've done so far has been Early Warning, which was kind of like a command shooter, which is really nice. But yeah, that's it. And all we get is a screenshot. This is our 24th game that we played for the Acorn Atom. 24 grueling games. Ready, set, go. The beginning of November 1982, I don't know what to expect. Everyone cross your fingers and toes and make sure nothing crashes. What do we need to do? We need to boot this up from disk. Usually use cassettes on this, so bear with me while we try to do disk. This is going to be DOS, and this is going to be that directory, and then this is going to be that one, and then that's the one I want. Run that one. It takes the command that you should hopefully memorize to be able to run this. Painter. And remember to type slow on your Acorn Atom. Ready, set, go. Yes! It booted! I'm so impressed. And it plays, I think, right? Does it play? Oh, here we go. We got to use the caret keys left and right to move left and right. And then is it... Oh, here we go. It's this one. Oh my gosh. You got to be really fast. We're playing yet again another grid capture game. Here now on the Acorn Atom. Wow, we even have some music? That's a little, barely even music for the Acorn Atom, but you gotta admit, they're trying to do something, right? Whoa, I don't believe this. So this is essentially, we're playing Amador. In fact, this looks really close to Amador whenever we played this on the NEC PC 6001. Can we go, keep going down? There you go, buddy. Can we even capture any one of these? Let's see. And then I should have a jump. Where's my jump? There it is. I have a jump to avoid the enemies, but the jump is, whatever plane you're on, you still can get hit by the other enemies. Oh yeah, if only this was as exciting as Tron Light Cycles. This one is based on my movement, so if I don't move, nothing happens. It doesn't automatically move around as if I was driving the Tron Light Cycle. Yeah, it's all Amador all day. Where's my jump? There it is. He has the most lame jump I've ever seen. So it's called Painter because you're meant to be painting in all of the sides, and this is keyboard controlled only. That's why I'm fumbling around to complete the grid, because you have to make sure you're right on the pixel, but it's still responding though. I'm amazed that we're getting these kind of graphics on the Acorn Atom, and it's because it's disc. We're playing a disc version of the game. Oh yeah, nice touch that he has a hat on, right? This is the 14th game that we played that is based on Amador since we saw it in the arcades. I would say this is like a step down from Time Runner that we saw, or Kid Grid on home computers. It's very similar to the NEC PC 6001 version of Amador. We are going to see this later on the BBC Micro, and I want to see what they do to it, because I think it's going to be a completely different looking game, at least Painter, but it's by the same company, A&F Software. But you can see how it works. You're supposed to just walk around and color everything in. It's very much the grid you would expect to see in... Whoa, did I just... Oh, you can move and jump. What? Wait a second. Usually we only just jump straight up. What? So this... That's pretty cool. Most of the time when we see these games and he has a jump mechanic, he stays in one place. But look, I can... I can essentially do a side-scrolling platform, but not really a side-scrolling platform. That's really impressive. All right, yeah, we get a high score. Press any key to keep going, and then I think it resets it. Yeah, after that. You get 3 lives to go as far as you can. There isn't any like bonus rounds or anything like that. Once what you see here is basically what you got. All right, so there you go. That's Painter for the Acorn Atom. It works. It actually looks good. It has music. It has sound. What is going on here? I'm kind of impressed by this working on the Acorn Atom. This is one of those games I would say if it was only on based on the Acorn Atom, I'd say 4 stars of all the games you could play on this micro. But this has to contend with all the other home computers out there, and so it has a lot to go for it. Yes, right? It could be worse. Yeah, and it is keyboard controlled only, but to tell you the truth, Amadar and the style of game it is, and because, you know, it has the jump mechanic that can travel, and the grid capture, it's actually, I wouldn't call it bad of all the games you could play. It would be improved if you had a joystick control, but, you know, at this point, it's actually all right. Looking over the chat, I see some 2.5s. Yeah, it definitely could have been worse. Yeah, and it is very similar to the video chip of the Coco. I'll contend with the chat. I'm going to say 2.5 stars of all the games you could play. If you, whether you're an Amadar fan or not, you got to admit it's still a fresh idea. Yeah, Charlie's even going lower because it's 2. Yeah, in November 1982, I'd say 2.5. All right, after that, let's see what our next game is after this commercial break.
For every chicken you ever ate, for every
It's coming.
Sandwich, for every duck, quail,
Look at all the
birds are back.
There's Phoenix everywhere.
In Phoenix, Atari's new
Whoa, cool.
Zig, they zag. Use your shield, they wait to get you. Shoot away.
Look at that.
Grows another until you face the
Ooh, and there's the boss.
Reach for Phoenix.
It doesn't get any cooler than that. It's time to play on our Atari 2600 for the release of Phoenix. Let's check it out. We saw Phoenix originally in the arcades in December 1980, and this is the first box you would have seen from Phoenix when it was released right now in November 1982. At this point, we've seen 23 games that play like Phoenix, and this is the first and only official port of Phoenix in North America. We are going to see a Phoenix that comes out for the Atari 2800 later in Japan, but this is basically all you got. If you look down at the bottom right, check it out. It is the next comic book packed in with an Atari game. And the artwork on this one is amazing. This one's better than the arcade. So our Atari took this and went bonkers with it. It looks so good. Another poster for your wall. Put it up there right now. So that's Phoenix. Flip it over the back. The Phoenix, the mythological bird, ancient symbol of reincarnation, has mutated into an evil bird of prey, and we got to take it out. Looks like we only need one joystick for this one. We've seen plenty of games like that. Yeah, the commercial's pretty fun too, right? So let's see the other artwork we have for Phoenix. We got the different boxes reconstructed, and this box was the box I showed, I think, on the thumbnail. This one's the later box. A lot of games that we're seeing right now on the Atari 2600 are going to be re-released in the later 80s to try to compete with another system coming out in North America. So this one is a much later box. We're going to see later on. There it is. The ad you would have seen in magazines at the time. Arm your missiles, charge up your shields. Phoenix is coming. Another arcade hit, Home. Yes, it's official too. Which player score is about to take flight? Yeah, the Phoenix from Atari. Oh, man. Yeah, the hype is good. There's the cart we're going to pop into our Atari 2600 to play. And there's some sources that say this was even closer to December, you know, around the holiday season, 1982. But I had a few that said November, and that's why we're checking it out right now. That's it. There's what we want. That's what I'm talking about. The poster on your wall looks so good. Oh, man, that's good. Okay, so here's some of the artwork and the screenshot for the Phoenix, but inside the box was Atari Force number 4. We are not going to read the comic book in its entirety, but it comes with the comic book. The other games we've seen that Atari has given us was Defender, and then Berserk had the comic book, and Star Raiders. And this one's the 4th one. It is Atari Force number 4. Yeah, not reading the whole thing. We do have the manual, though. How do we play some Phoenix? Oh, yes. It explains actually a few things. The lore of this is like the history of the Phoenix and why it's mutated and why we have to take them all out and destroy them. Your mission is to eliminate all of the seemingly immortal Warhawks, destroy the alien spaceship, and safeguard our planet from ravaging energy thieves. We have 5 lives to survive the bombing attacks of 4 separate flocks of Phoenix birds who protect the alien spaceship. Your challenge is eliminate the birds, get the spaceship that follows the 4th wave, and shoot the alien pilot, which is inside, I think, the boss mode after that. We have the different types of birds we're going to be going for. The controller is this is just one. It's a one-player game. You plug in your one joystick and that's it. For controls, you just move left, right, and you pull down on the joystick for your force field. Starting the game up explains how to operate your laser cannon. It's a one-player game. You reset the button. I don't even think it has game variations or options. Where are they? I don't see anything there. Yeah, here we go. The reset switch explains that. The game select switch says there is one continuous game. The game select switch has no function, so no variation. Difficulty switch is Phoenix is difficult enough as it is. That's how they explain it. The difficulty switch has no effect. However, if you wish to eliminate the background sounds of the bird cries, you can move the left difficulty switch to the A position. So there's basically nothing that this game has as far as options. It's just you pop the game in and you play. It's true Atari arcade action. But I shouldn't say that because original games that were in 1977 for the Atari had tons of variations. So here's the scores of how you can rack up the highest on Phoenix, and you're going to need to know that in November 1982. Oh, man, Manly, I really wish that it did influence the commercial. It looks kind of like that. Hey, and there we go. Just as usual, the manuals have some helpful hints. Pause the video, take a look at some helpful hints of how you can beat the boss. There he is. Great pictures they didn't have a ton of awesome Phoenix artwork, but they had some video game artwork in here. And then the grids at the bottom where you can put in your high scores. Oh, I love it. So this one was available in lots of regions, PAL regions, and then in Brazil as well. This is the first one. Let's play some Phoenix. This is official by Amstar Electronics, GCC, Michael Feinstein, and John Marisek. The beginning of November 1982. This is Atari's 71st published game on all home consoles up to this point. Amstar Electronics, this is their third game that we've seen them do. Phoenix and Condor was what they did in the arcade. Condor's basically like Phoenix, and so this is their official way to bring it home. GCC, though, this is the third game we've seen by them. Mrs. Pac-Man is the one that most people would know. And then they also did Vanguard, the port on the Atari 2600. This is Michael Feinstein and John Marisek's first game that we've seen here on Chronologically Gaming. Now I'm just going to go in. You just push reset and then hit it. Let's destroy some Phoenixes. First wave, you start with some purple ones. So you can move left, right, and fire. It's a fixed shooter affair. I got my force field you can see right there. Once you activate it, you cannot move, I don't think. Yeah, and it's only temporary, and then whenever it runs out, you have to wait for a little bit before you can use it again. But every wave comes in has a different style or breed of bird. And then when you get to these ones, you really want to get them right in the middle, between the eyes, to blow them up. Because if you destroy the wings, then the wings just continue to grow back. It's like they're a phoenix. But very reminiscent of what we saw in the arcade. I mean, look at they're kind of doing what we already have seen with Demon Attack. In a way, I feel a little sad for Phoenix, the official people that did it, because Demon Attack was based on Phoenix, but we saw that one first, before this. But I'm already getting the vibes of like I'm playing something from Demon Attack. But you can see as we go through, stage after stage, it goes faster and faster, and it progressively gets harder and harder. But the control of this game is really good. The shot of the enemy, you can see we had an extra life right there that's displayed at the top of the screen. But movement of the enemies, the way that this plays is nice. Oh, see the wings just grow right back. Take him out. He's going in for the... Notice when you get close, we got a little bit of flicker down there at the bottom. Oh, here it is. There also isn't an auto fire. I have to mash that red button on the Atari VCS joystick to try to get in. As he gets closer and closer, then you start wearing down that force field. Look at this. Oh, we blew each other up at the same time. And then it repeats. Scores go higher and higher. How far can you go? I don't know if you can tell by the way that I'm playing this, this feels great. Smooth as far as shooters go. I almost want to say, even though Demon Attack came first, because this is the original idea and made by, or at least licensed by, the real people that made Phoenix, I kind of want to give this the nod, but Demon Attack is just a notch better. But maybe you ask me on a different day, then I would pick Demon Attack over Phoenix. It's just so good. And then it goes right back to the attract mode whenever you die. So good. So this is Obviously based on Galaxian. Phoenix was a variant of that. Up to this point, we played 80 games that are variants of Galaxian. And since Demon Attack kind of beat him to it, that was another variation of Galaxian as well. There's a few other games we played, and I mentioned this whenever we played Galaxian and Space Invaders on the Atari 5200, that some of the best fixed shooters you could play right now on home consoles are things like Demon Attack on both systems, the Atari 2600 or on the Intellivision. There's also Sonic Invader on the Creativision, Communist Mutants from Space. Cosmic Arc is another really good one. To move left, right, and fire, though, this is just plays really good. Really, really fun, and you can see the stages go through this order continuously. And how many times can you keep going? How far can you keep going with the lives that you have? But it's very addictive, very, very fun. Oh, yeah, that's right. Oh, you do, Marshall, on the second wave? Nice. Yeah, the first wave, you're just going to get the normal firing shots. But the regrowing of the Phoenix, we already saw in the arcades. The patterns of the Phoenix, I'm already pretty familiar with because we played a few games that are like that. Make sure you get them in the middle, though. Another thing to note is the sound. The way the sound is on this one, very similar to Demon Attack. It's just very high quality for a home console. Yeah, and definitely graphics are above average too. Here on the show, we try to get the best release date to play in chronological order, but it's still possible that around this time, when Demon Attack was released, remember, the brand new games, maybe not everybody got those releases in North America at the same time. So some people may have played Phoenix before they played Demon Attack. And I'd love to know from the chat and comments below, what is the better game? Is it Demon Attack right now, or is it Phoenix right now? This is so good. They are giving the boss battle that they did not have with Demon Attack on the Atari 2600. The Intellivision had that. So this one is, I would say, the better one to play on the Atari 2600. Ooh, nice. There you go. Curtis is going this one higher. Yeah, it's more equal to the one on the Intellivision, right? Oh, that's right. We are missing that one phase from the arcade, but they still brought there's still a lot to this. What's surprising, though, is it's only on this console. This is the only port. The reason I said the only ever port of Phoenix is in North America is because we're going to see this again when we're actually going to play the Atari 2800 when it's released in Japan, which is basically all the games you could play on the Atari 2600, but with a Japanese coat of paint over the boxes. So there you go. That's Phoenix. Of all the games you could play right now on all home consoles, this is very good. This is top-tier gaming of all the games up to this point. Because there's other consoles that are progressing or doing something better or higher than what we've seen before, I'm still saying this is obviously above average for all the titles up to this point. I'm looking over in the chat. I see lots of 4 stars, a 4.5, too. That means if you're saying 4, 4.5, 5, you're telling yourself this is one of the best games you could play across all home consoles right now in November 1982. And then Manly's even throwing out 5 stars. The best of the best. Oh, yeah, great Christmas present, especially right now. Yeah, 4 stars. I'm actually going to go a little bit lower. There's a few other shooters that are better and even play better that I would give the nod to go higher than this. But this game's so good that if you asked me a different time which game is better, I might pick one over the other. But as of right now, I'll say 4 stars. Of all the games you could play right now on all home consoles, Phoenix is excellent. It's a very, very good game. There you go. All right, after that, let's see what our next game is.
These families are learning about home computing.
We're now hopping to the home computer world, and this is the Atari home computer. Let's play some Picnic Paranoia. Not familiar with this one. Here's the box for Picnic Paranoia. Oh, we have seen this one in ads. Picnic Paranoia is by Synapse Software. This is the 9th game we've seen by Synapse Software, and that includes all ports and versions of it. The front of this one is very well done. I don't have written down who did the artwork for this one, but Synapse Software has given us lots of very good quality video games. at least above average for all the ones up to this point. Man, we got a terrible picnic going on. You flip it over the back. This game requires joysticks, and I love that. Makes us feel like we're playing on a home console, even though we're on a home computer. George is having a picnic. It's a sunny day, and there's not a cloud in the sky. And unfortunately, we got bugs everywhere. They're going to come eat our food. That's what's going to happen. Oh, really? It was, Curtis? It never did? Well, I know if we don't see it here, we probably will never see it. All right, so besides all of the artwork, here is the version if you were going to play as a cassette. That's right, we played with video games with cassettes in November 1982. It was also available on a 5 1/4 floppy disk if you had the disc version. And I believe there's also a cart version around there somewhere. There's the example of the screenshot. Here's the manual, though, for Picnic Paranoia. This is by Russ Segal, the second game we've seen him do after Reversi 2. And Reversi, compared to Reversi 2, this is probably going to be much better. So there's the loading instructions for a cassette or disc. You start the game by pushing start. The object is to prevent the invading ants from stealing and carrying off your food. This, of course, is done by avoiding the spiders and wasps out to help the ants in their thieving activity. So another video game that's really pushing the bug motif or bug theme. Level of play increases, and enemy insects get on the screen more and more at a time. We're going to be moving George around, controlling on the joystick, and we have a fly swatter. Use the fire button to move it, and while it's depressed, keep pressing in that direction. And he also moves in all the directions. And this breaks down all the other insects that you're going to be encountering in the game. We got ants that we'll have to fight off. We got spiders. They aren't going to be swatted, but they leave webs that we have to swat to get by. After a spider bite, George is going to be paralyzed for 3 seconds. There's also wasps flying around. Don't get stung by them because you'll be deposited to the screen and paralyzed again. And we have foods that we have to prevent these insects from dragging off the screen. So a lot going on with this game. There's also different kinds of rounds. Each round consists of 90 seconds. It's basically you're timing yourself how many insects you can get rid of before they remove them from the screen. Then we have bug spray. If we get the 5,000 points, every 10,000 points after that, we're getting a count of bug spray. It basically is this: hit the space bar, and it's that Nova bomb that blows up all the insects on the screen. It's great. Not quite a hack and slash. I wouldn't call it that. Maybe a swat and slash is the way to describe this game. And there's some additional notes here. You can press pause. We have little doors at the top and the bottom to get around quickly. And there is some options. You can do a 2-player game, but players are going to take turns. It's hot seat multiplayer. And then we have the game level pushing the option button. And all the other information. And there it is, the story. Well, we need 16K for this one. Only 16K. I like that. Let's pop in some Picnic Paranoia and play. Russ Segal, Synapse Software in the beginning of November 1982. Let's hear it. So this marks the 392nd game we've played on the Atari home computer. Yes, hear those tunes. Flight of the Bumblebee. I think this is the 8th time we've heard Flight of the Bumblebee in a video game. Look at this intro. Telling us all about the rounds, the foods. There's us as George. We get stinging wasps. All right, so I'm going to mess around with a few buttons. Oh, look at down the bottom. They're showing the other games by Synapse Software. Seamus, Ford Apocalypse, and I saw Nautilus too. They're advertising their other games. That's awesome. So we can pick, if I hit the option button, we can do day or night. That's awesome. And then we can do a 1 or 2-player game, and that's about it. If we do use the number keys on the keyboard, I believe we can select the rounds. Ready and start. The presentation is excellent for a home computer game. Oh, I'm in the night mode. Wait a second. Go back. Wait a second. I'm going to reset. Oh, if it'll let me reset. Did it not let me? Here, we'll redo it. I didn't want to start with the night mode to show off how the game's played. So let's try it again without night mode. We'll go in the daytime. So another video game that's featuring insects as a theme. It lets us select the stage we want if we wanted to. You can use the number keys to go to each stage instead of having to go through an order. All right, ready, and go. That's it. There's George. Look at my fly swatter. So whenever I hold down the red button and move around, he basically swats in all directions. But you got to get over here, get these ants as fast as you can, and kill them. The timer's at the top of the screen. You got 90 seconds to keep all the ants away from you. Because if the ants go too far, you can see I can't swat that one. And if enough ants are on the screen or around one of the foods, then they'll take one of the foods away. As far as my movement and how I get around, it feels really good. The fly swatter feels a little lacking. Like my range is very, very limited. There's one of the wasps you gotta watch out for. You can squash them with your fly swatter. Very satisfying to squash the wasp. Yeah, and the food vibe for a video game is good. Already, though, this kind of concept is... Oh, I got stung, so I'm paralyzed. It is amazing that we're seeing this on a home computer. I mean, this is another one of those games that you think... This could easily be an arcade game. On the Atari home computer, the colors always seem a little bit muted or duller than... you know, the vibrant ones we see in the arcades. But still, this idea for a video game is really impressive. We got 6 seconds. We're doing great. No foods have been dragged off. 3, 2, 1, and then the round ends. They add up all the food that we managed to keep at our picnic, get bonus points, and then move on to the next stage. And we do have a little bit of warping we can do if you look at the top and left and right sides of the screen. Yeah, the fly sorter is but being able to move around freely, top down like this, is really cool. It's also unique to note that seeing a character this large on the screen, or play as a character this large for a home computer, is still unique. Oh, can I not get that one? You gotta be kidding me. Oh, once they stick to the food, I don't think you can. So if you look over on the left side of the screen, that's what one of the spiders looks like. All they do is leave webs, but you cannot swat them. You can only just swat the webs out of the way. And I can traverse with the fly swatter, but I don't like holding the red button down. I don't have that much freedom to move. Oh, I can't get that one either. You can see now we're getting way too many ants all over everything. If I touch an ant, do I just die? No. An ant acts like a barrier where you can't even cross it. Yeah, very much a limited range weapon, but you would have a blast, though, with playing a game like this. We've played plenty of games that incorporate the element of you're eventually just going to mess up. There are going to be so many bugs on the screen that eventually you won't be able to... Oh, I got stung again. You won't be able to hold back the barrage of insects. You can see it's 7 seconds, looking pretty good there. Yeah, nice. And if you get enough bonus points, then you can get bug spray and it blasts all the insects at once on the screen, and you get that every few times. So it's an arcade game, or arcade style game that you could play at home. As far as arcade, other games that we don't really have a solid genre for, there's other games out there on home consoles or home computers that are very, very good. Like all the other games that are like Frogger, available for home computers. Swamp Chomp, Princess and Frog, Meltdown, Preppy, the official Frogger, Pacific Coast Highway. And then there's other games that we played that are arcade style like this, like Cyclod, if you remember that one. Claim Jumper, Chicken, Chopper Rescue, Buried Bucks, and Nautilus. All those are one of the most impressive games that you could play on home computers that are like arcade style, that really don't have a defined genre that you could say, like a shooter genre kind of thing like that. Yeah, you can see we're not doing very well keeping the ants down, and they're swarming the food, and whenever they do, oh yep, there it goes, off to the left side of the screen. Goodbye. Yep, that's what the food looks like being carried off. And now you can tell, look how many things we have happening on the screen at once. Clever use of the characters by whenever an ant comes in contact with the food, it just sits there. But it still looks really impressive, all this happening at once. There we go. I think we'll get a bug spray after that one. All right. right, we'll go put a pause on that game. That is all we'll see of Picnic Paranoia, but you can see how it progressively gets harder and harder and more impressive with the amount of insects on the screen. So of all the games you can play right now across all home computers, this is still an above average game. The gameplay or the element of this game, we've seen more action games or games that are doing this better with shooting mechanic. But you got to admit, it's quaint, it's fun. Looking over in the chat, I see some 4 stars. Yeah, quick to learn, hard to master. 3.5 to 4 or 4 stars. Yeah, good arcade fun. I wouldn't call this one as high as some of the other Frogger games. I would say they play better than this because it feels limited with your ability to move and shoot. But Synapse Software still is delivering a very, very well done game. Curtis is saying 4 stars of everything you can play. The music also, too, is good. I'm actually somewhere around the 3.5 to 4 star range of all the games you could play across all home computers. This version of Picnic Paranoia, I would say this one's very well done. I'm going to go 4 stars of all the games you could play right now on all home computers. Synapse Software is still delivering a very good game.
No foreign languages. The Atari family is learning.
There we go. Now it's time to put the video game playing on pause. We are still continuing our quest to play every single video game in order of release. Thanks so much for joining me live on the show or comments down below. Next time on Chronologically Gaming, we have another Picnic Paranoia on the Apple II. We're also going to be playing as the scariest and most muscular clown in all video games. Jungle King is going to get reskinned again. And the best video game on any home console gets its first port. Now Activision is on the Intellivision. That's it for today, and like I always say, we play the official... Why would you want to play the official game when home computers will be making variants or better versions of it? Hey everybody, thanks for checking out the channel and joining me on my quest to play every single video game in order of release. We'll be streaming live every weekday at 9 p.m. Central, so join us and let us know if we missed any games along the way. This video would not be possible without Launchbox, RetroArch, and MAME. Tell all your friends there's some crazy guy named Chronologically Gaming trying to play every single video game. We have links down below that'll send you to places like our Discord and Patreon, and one that says all the video games we've ever played. If you go there, it's a list of everything, and you can click right to the game you want to see. Chronologically Gaming is the name to look for. We are perpetually retro, and we will catch you next time.